Hey, ladies. I hope everyone is doing well today. It is your girl Cherie here in the house. I'm so glad to have this channel because there are things like this that come about with all sorts of, stuff happening in the world. And I wanted to have a way to talk with women about this. And yeah, it's about politics today, but politics does affect wealth, and it affects wealth within the Black community, especially for Black women. So we should have a conversation about that. Now, if you have been living under a rock, you may not know that Candace Owens and Kanye West broke the internet yesterday. They wore a shirt that says White Lives Matter. There's been a lot of fallout from it. I want to talk about some things with regards to Candace and Kanye, and more importantly, about politics and Black women and Black wealth. So, hey, Selfish Love. Hello, everybody. Hello. All right. So, I don't think I'll be on here long today because actually I have something to do at 7. So, we're going to get started here with this topic. So, let's talk about Candace, first of all. Candace is a joke, and so is Kanye. And I'm saying this as somebody who is conservative. I haven't been conservative my whole life. I was Democrat, just like many other people throughout my 20s. And then I started turning more conservative in my 30s. As you begin to age, you begin to see things, you begin to accumulate wealth. The chances of you becoming more conservative goes up. So that's just a natural thing. But I understand why so many Black people, especially so many Black women, still continue to vote Democrat. And one of the things that I don't do is I don't talk down to people and I don't demean people because of it. Kanye and Candace did not wear those t-shirts out of benevolence. They did not wear those t-shirts because they care about either side. Kanye and Candace are the same as Al Sharpton and Benjamin Crump. Never met a race war and anything else that they didn't want to get in the middle of. Hey, Computer and Coin, I sent you an email. So check and let me know what you want to do. They care about their pockets. They care about money. Both Candace and Kanye. Anytime you have people who care so much about being in the limelight, there's one or two things happening. Either number one, they don't have as much money as they're pretending to, and I'm talking about Kanye as well as Candace, or they just want the attention so much that it doesn't matter who they hurt or whose path they're in. And again, I'm saying this as somebody who is conservative and who does believe that there are Republican principles and Republican legislation that we as Black women wealth builders should get behind. But I tell you this, Candace isn't the one to deliver the message. Kanye isn't the one to deliver the message. And I got more news for you. The Republicans are not focused on Black women. Conservatives are not focused on Black women. But we as a group, we as a community need to figure out how we are going to navigate the next decade, 2 decades of American politics. So I want to talk a little bit today about some of the things that Candace said. I'm going to show you a video that she did in response to White Lives Matter. I'm going to talk to you about why I do not think that she is the person to really push for the Black community. Show you a little bit about real power. We're going to have that conversation. Show you what her real game plan is. And then we're going to talk a little bit about Black women, we are wealth building Black women. What are some of the things we should be asking for? What are some of the things we should be thinking about? So let me close my door really quickly and I'll come back. Give me 30 seconds. Sorry, everybody. Okay, I'm back. So, Selfish Love is saying, yes, we really need a group. Democrats come begging every 2 years and we don't get much of anything. So I will tell you, Selfish Love, I agree with this. I believe we should be playing both sides against each other. I think it was Malcolm X that said that we do not have permanent friends or permanent enemies. We have permanent interests. What Candace and Kanye and Brandon Tatum and these other people want us to do is just say Democrats bad, Republicans good. Let us just go over to the Republicans. Let me tell you something. I'm going to show you the Blexit platform. Ain't much there. Now I know that she's left Blexit, but she started Blexit. Ain't much there. I'm going to let you listen to a couple of minutes of Candace Owens and why she wore the White Lives Matter t-shirt, but she really didn't explain why she wore it. She talked about the backlash she was getting, even though she knew she was going to get backlash. She wants to get backlash from it. But what I did not hear from her was any kind of an agenda, a political agenda. These are the things I'm fighting for. All she talked about was how bad Black people are, how fat Black women are. Oh, wait until I show you. Girl, yes, playing both sides. Yeah, we have to. That's what other people do. I don't understand. This is why I say that Candace Owens is a joke and she's not here to help us. Because if she were really here to help us, she would say, look, ladies, look, gentlemen, this is what the Black community needs. This is what we're going to be fighting for. Here's the platform. We're going to go to both sides. Selfish Love is saying, I agree. It's no purpose to just go over to Republicans either. They are trying to send us to Republicans without us asking for anything. That doesn't make any sense. And the people that I do see trying to ask for things, even though some of them I don't necessarily agree with, at least they're asking for certain things. At least Angela Stanton King is asking for something. She's asking for an anti-Black hate crime bill like the Asians got. Anytime I see Candace, and I followed her off and on for many years, I want to like her. She ain't asking for anything except for us to stop doing stuff. But she hasn't yet one time to ask for more funding for our schools. She has yet to ask one time for more funding for after-school programs for our students. She's just telling Black people to put the guns down and Black girls to lose weight and not like Lizzo. What the hell is that supposed to do for us? I'm losing people now. It's not the fancy riled up topic, but that's okay. I appreciate everybody who's here. Look, I got some things to show you tonight. We're going to start with Candace. We're going to start with Candace herself. Candace talked about, oh, shoot. I got to move it, everybody. Hold on. Candace talked about White Lives Matter and why she didn't really talk about why she was wearing the shirt. That's a lie. But I thought the topic was going to be why she wore the shirt. So I was curious. So I tuned in. So this is her daily podcast that she has here. And I'm only going to play a couple of minutes for you. So let's get started here. Everybody, let me know if you can hear it.
A win for who, though, is the question. A win for who? 79% of Planned Parenthood abortion facilities are located within walking distance of neighborhoods that have a higher proportion of Latina and Black women. But that's not the only thing that's killing Black America, literally. We also know obesity is killing Black America. I wish, you know what we should have done? We should have put a White Lives Matter t-shirt on Lizzo. Maybe we could have gotten a lot of attention about obesity and how it's actually killing Black Americans. Obesity is the #1 killer in America, okay? I know Black Lives Matter told you it was police shootings, right? It made you think that thousands of Black men were dying at the hands of police. No, absolutely not. I think in the year 2020, was it 9 unarmed Black men were killed by police, 9 of them? But obesity is killing people at a very high rate, and Black women have the highest rates of obesity. It's the #1 killer, and of course, we sit at the top of it. Black women, 56.9% of us are classified as obese. We shouldn't talk about that. You know why? Because it didn't have a t-shirt on it that said White Lives Matter.
Okay, so that was part 1 of what I wanted you to hear. So thanks to everybody for your comments. Girl, Candace is trying to solidify her place with the whites. Candace is just for Candace. I agree with you there. I absolutely agree with you there. I want to like Candace. Everything Candace said is true. But what she does not talk about and what she does not push for on the other side is, hey, can we get some federal money in here for some grocery stores so that we can get Black female obesity rates down? Can we get more clinics in the neighborhoods where Black women live? Can we get more resources to help Black women get their weight down? Can we get more free lunches for our children so that they can eat better? I have yet to hear Candace talk about these things. Lord, Lizzo just be minding her business. You know what? Between Candace Owens and Boyce Watkins, and yeah, I'm just going to start calling out names. I'm tired of hearing about Lizzo. Every time Lizzo breathes, these people have something to say. Lizzo does mind her business. Lizzo is not talking about these people, and yet Lizzo will do a commercial and they'll do a whole 30-minute or 60-minute podcast about Lizzo. But what they won't do is they won't talk about any government funding going to the Republicans saying we need government funding so that we can have more parks and recreation in our communities, so that we can have more healthy foods in our communities. And that is why Candace is a joke. Computer and Coin is saying, I'm not fooled. We are going into election season across the country. Yeah, it's in a couple of weeks. And look, as soon as midterms are over, next thing you know, it's going to be the presidential election again. Who knows if with Elon Musk buying Twitter, Trump may be back on Twitter. We don't know what's going to happen on the Republican side. We don't know if Joe Biden is running or not. There's a lot that's up in the air. But rest assured, those two wore those White Lives Matter t-shirts because of one thing. They care about money and they care about the internet and breaking the internet. They don't give a damn about the Black community. Kanye running around talking about Kim, talking about his Black children. Give me a break. And Candace is going to bring it up that one of they posted it. Actually, I'm going to show it to you in the next clip I want to show you, that Candace had just talked about Kim being a prostitute. I know that Kanye doesn't care about Chris because Candace called Chris a pimp, but she just sat there and talked about his ex-wife, did a whole podcast about it, and they looked like they were holding hands. Let's just say that. I want to say something else. I'm not going to say that on this internet. In that picture, they looked mighty close. Let me just say it like that. When Senator Kennedy, who is a doctor, found out that it was Black women dying the most in childbirth in his state, he changed the subject. He didn't put resources behind it to fix the problem. That's one of the things that I'm going to talk about in what we need to be fighting for as Black women is for somebody to study and help us fix the Black maternal death rate. I think Candace is strategic, beautiful, cunning, and intelligent. However, I cannot get behind her, even though I tried. I am the same way. I wanted to get behind Candace. I felt like there was a contingency of upper class, upper middle class Black women who were educated, who would have gotten behind her if she had played her cards right. But I believe that her position, and I was going to say this later on, her position is not really to convert Black people. The Republican Party cares more about converting Black men, and Candace Owens ain't going to convert Black men at the rates that they need. I hate to bring up his name, but they need a Kevin Samuels for that. And Candace Owens is not talking enough about Black women's issues in order to convert the Black women that she could convert. So let's continue. I want to go back here and I want to go to another part of the video here. So it is 1739. Sorry, everybody. Okay, let's hear it.
Of Darren Trank, who wrote, Candace, you don't get that you're just undermining a movement by imitating their name and logo. You're simply not worth anyone's time. No, Darren, what you don't understand is that I intend to undermine the movement.
Did you hear that? Do I need to roll it back a couple of seconds? Let's see here. Listen one more time for me.
What you don't understand is that I intend to undermine the movement. So I've been.
She intends to undermine the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, the organization is one thing. Everybody agrees that the organization was crap. We don't know what happened to the money. Candace Owens did not just say that she intends to organize the Black Lives Matter organization. She says she intends to undermine the Black Lives Matter movement. She's not, and I understand because the Black Lives Matter movement was about police brutality. I truly do feel like it should have been more than just police brutality, but that also includes Black maternal lives as well, needing to matter in the hands of some of these doctors. So let's finish listening to her for a second here. I'm going to roll it back one more time really quickly.
Is that I intend to undermine the movement. That's what I've been doing. I've been undermining the Black Lives Matter movement because I'm not an idiot. And it's clear that the result of the Black Lives Matter movement has been more destruction for Black lives. It is clear that Black people are being programmed in the same way that you have been programmed to think that the movement is for you when it's not. It has stripped our communities further. The places where these riots took place are further impoverished. Black people did not become richer since the George Floyd riots. They actually factually became poorer.
Now, she's right about these things, but what she does not do is she does not talk at all about, okay, so here is my 10-point agenda so that we can correct this. Now, let's talk about Brexit, because I did want to bring it up. So I'm going to stop this here. And, let me actually look at your things first here, your comments. They have Herschel Walker. He's trying, he's drawing down in Georgia. Oh my gosh. Herschel Walker. I can't. Herschel is a mess. I can't with Herschel Walker. That makes my head hurt. And here's the thing. We all knew that Herschel was a problem. They don't give us Black Republican candidates that we could actually get behind, that actually says things that are right, but also we feel like they are in some way fighting for us as well. They don't do it. So let's take a look here at, what Candace is fighting for. I'm going to actually go out of order with my notes here for a second, but that's okay. So this is Blexit here. Now, apparently, Candace left Blexit, I don't know when, but this was the organization that she started. So it should still have her essence in some sort of way. So I'm looking here to see what they are fighting for, right? Because this should be, hey, this is what we need in order to help Black America. So you got to go here to Vision. And Vision has here a better future community, a future for minority communities. So what are they fighting for? Advocating for school choice and alternative education opportunities. I actually agree with this. Okay. Promoting criminal justice reform for those impacted by the penal system and developing educational programs to help communities avoid incarceration. We need to talk a little bit more about, about this piece of it, because now they're talking about the cash bail system, right? Championing entrepreneurship and free enterprise as keys to escaping government dependence and poverty. There's no program behind this, though. This is just platitudes. Developing history programs that will inspire minority children to succeed and lead productive and responsible lives. All I've heard from them is no CRT. I haven't heard anything about what history programs they want to put in its place. Presenting the message of Blexit through evocative visual art and compelling live events. These are the things that they want to do. Y'all, I looked through the rest of these items here. There's nothing else here. So the point of me talking about this is, if we were to look at the Republicans, I'm talking about the white Republicans, there are three groups of people that are there. And all of them work together. The first group are the people who create the policies and the outcomes that they want to have. So that's your big money people. That's like the Koch brothers, for example. The second group of people are the people that deliver the messaging. That's like your Fox News overall. Like that's the media conglomerate, right? Fox News. And then the third person or group is like the people who actually convert the masses to your way of thinking. That's your Tucker Carlson, that's your Sean Hannity, etc. The problem that I have with Candace Owens is that Candace Owens is not a part of a system that's really going to help deliver people. Number one, she's not the person that creates the policies and outcomes at all. We don't have anybody doing that. Not for Black women, for Black men, for Black community. I'm going to show y'all the Black men's agenda. I'm going to show you where, what's his name? Ice Cube is getting some things done. You know, we'll see how that works out. The messaging, no, we're not doing that. And converting the people, she is not doing that. She is not doing that because, if anything, she should have gone after educated Black women if she really wanted to make a dent in this. So, Computer and Coin is saying his son been airing him out on Twitter. Herschel Walker is a mess. Lainey, hi, you made a live. Not visual art. I always view Candace as a pop culture commentator, nothing more. She's a mouthpiece. She's a puppet. She is not a person who can convert people to the Republican Party. I'm here to say, as a conservative, that they don't have anybody who can convert people to the Republican Party. Anybody who could be halfway effective, they don't put them out. Because part of being effective is, let's say that you're going to have a Black woman who's going to fight for Black women's rights. That means there needs to be a two-way street. That means that the Republicans get to ask for our votes, but we get to ask for something in return. And the people that I see that are working on those things, they're not being uplifted. Candace is being uplifted because she's not asking for anything in return. Kanye is being uplifted because he's not asking for anything in return. Yes, they are puppets. They are useless. So let's talk about Ericka Badu, because I saw something that Ericka Badu said, and I want to show it to you ladies today. Let's take a look at this, ladies.
Oftentimes, do you think that people with power or spiritual gifts tend to prey on the weak?
There's a philosophy that says 85% of the people on the planet are followers. 10% of the people on the planet are creators or leaders, and 5% of the people are observers. So when you got 85% of the people who are willing to follow, the 10% who are able to create something are going to capitalize off of that, and the 5% are usually the ones who are assassinated or shunned or discredited because they can see everything that's going on, and they would ruin it all for the 10%. So the reason why it's so easy to do that is because people are willing to be led.
Okay, everybody. So the reason I wanted to show Ericka Badu, is because most of us in the community in the United States are looking to be led. Candace is talking to the 85% that would follow her without asking any questions, without asking for anything in return. I want us to break free from that. I want us to actually have some things that we are asking for, and then we bring it to the Republican side and we bring it to the Democrat side. I also notice in politics that we will ask the presidential candidate for stuff that we should be asking for from the governor. The president, from my understanding, controls the borders, controls executive orders. And there's one other thing that he controls. I can't remember it right now. But if we want better schools, we have to talk to the governor and the school boards. And you know who I had to ask about that? I had to ask that from a libertarian presidential candidate, and I had to ask him 4 times. No, my specific question is, if I want to know who's handling the curriculum for our students, who do I go to? It took me 4 times asking this guy for him to say, oh, it's the governor, and the governor actually sends the information down to the cities and the school boards. So we have to come up with an agenda, and we have to know who we are asking for this information. Yeah, Lainey, we're glad you called alive too. So look, let's get into a little bit of mess here. Let's get into a little bit of mess, and then I'm going to actually go back to serious. Okay, a couple of things with regards to the mess. Candace knows 3 things. Number 1, that she knows her audience. Her audience are the sponsors. These are the people that put money in her pocket. Most of us would agree with that. The second thing is Candace knows her mission. Her mission is not for the betterment of Black people, because if she did have the betterment of Black people in mind with regards to Republican and conservative policy, she would actually be asking the Republicans for something in return. She is not here for the betterment of Black people. She is here to get people riled up. That is it. And Candace knows that the most effective media that they can use is the internet, whether it's Twitter, podcasts, YouTube. I didn't look for it now, but I know that she said in one of her podcasts that that the liberals won for the past however many years, 50 years, because they control TV, but the Republicans are looking to control the internet, and they're looking to control grade school. They want to program the youth, and I'm not using program in a bad way. They want to get in with the youth as early as possible because the liberals are in the colleges. This is a game that's being played right now. And it is about those 85% of people that they are able to get to follow them without asking for anything in return. It's 85% of Black Americans that they want to get to follow from the Democrats to the Republicans without asking for anything in return. So this is the mess I want to show you really quickly. So I said, okay, I just kind of started looking around at different people's agendas. And do you all know that the Black men have an agenda? They have an agenda. So let's take a look at the men's agenda. And y'all know I don't blackmail bash here, but there's a guy named T. Hassan Johnson on YouTube. And I will say this, I've listened to about 3 or 4 of his podcasts, and he's really good at promoting the Black male agenda. When I looked for the Black women's agenda, I couldn't really find one. So, I'm not going to set it up, but I think that we need a Black women's agenda that's really pushed out there. Y'all know ADOS has an agenda, but that's more about the Black community and reparations, etc. But this is my messy part of the show here today. So this is a Black male political agenda by about 10,000 plus members, right? Okay, so they want family court reform. This is an economic point of view, ladies, right? Because we're Black women building wealth. So, Black women making money, and we want to build wealth. So money is a part of it. So this is about child custody, includes automatic 50-50 child custody as long as the fathers can prove what the mothers are requiring, right? Mandatory paternity testing at birth. I personally don't have a problem with that. Reinstituting at-fault divorce standards. Okay. This one here, financial abortion. As we understand the law, it is a woman's right to choose whether or not she'll carry a baby to term. Of course, we know that in some states that is no longer the case. Within the first 6 months after being informed about the pregnancy, men should have the right to financially disassociate themselves from the pregnancy. This is what men are asking for. I will say one thing, their platform is clear. Child support value system, right to lifestyle. Let's see, I didn't want to say prohibit jailing for failure to pay child support. Income floor for child support. This is what they're looking for, ladies. Tax filing options. I had never heard of this before, so I'll read it. At income tax time, many women sell their children's social security numbers to friends, family members, etc., either when the mother is not working or has maxed out her 2-child benefit to receive income tax credits. So they're basically asking, I guess, advocating for them to get those tax credits, right? If women are selling, but they put selling quotes, so they're probably not selling it for cash. I don't know what this is, but anyway. They have their education here. They have their affirmative action because of double minority status, I guess, that women are getting. This is in response to generations of policies that disproportionately disadvantage Black males on race and gender, that prioritize white women and Black women over Black men. So, hey, targeted homelessness programs. I understand why they're saying that, okay. They have law enforcement here. There was something else that I wanted to show you, ladies. Intimate partner violence. Targeted small business support. So they specifically want this. Paternity leave. And I think it was the last thing. Yeah, this is it here. They want reparations for themselves. That's my messy part of today, of today's topic here. They want reparations for themselves. So, oh goodness. Yes, Cherie, it's time for us to be crafty Black women. This is one-sided loyalty is gonna get us left behind. And I'm not gonna say the last word, but I think you need to protect yourself. It's interesting because Ben Shapiro does the same thing, and she works for him. Candace trying to convert Black people, Ben Shapiro trying to convert the J community. You are absolutely correct. Not only that, so most people may not know this. 65%, I think, of the Jewish community actually votes Democrat, which is very interesting. And Dennis Prager is Jewish. Dennis Prager owns Prager U, which is where Candace used to work, and they have a couple of other Black people that are working there. I think Matt Walsh used to work there, etc. But yeah, so we are starting to see where they're trying to chip away at these communities. Now, I think that Ben Shapiro is probably a lot more effective. Computer and Coin is saying, I've heard about the Black Men Agenda. It's an open edit document. People can add to it too. He's very persuasive. Yeah, look, and I'm not saying everything that they asked for was wrong. I actually was curious about it. One thing I will say is they promote it on their channel. So this is baby daddy agenda. It is. It is. Hey, Mocha Mommy. Lainey is saying the way none of these things will ever happen. Interesting that the first thing on the list isn't job training and mental health. On my list, it actually is. It actually is. So, y'all are a mess in here. I know. I want to be messy. Hey, Black Widow Row. Hey. Okay. So let me take this off because I thought, okay, all right. Let's see. Let's see what they're asking for, right? Oh, I told y'all I was also going to show really quickly a couple of other things that are happening. And then we're actually going to get into some seriousness again. So, well, actually, this is serious. So, what else are specifically Black men fighting for? This is the RAP Act. What they want to do is right now, courts can use the lyrics of rappers in conjunction with other evidence that they get to convict rappers of violent acts, whether it's murder or something else. The RAP Act has been introduced into Congress. And what they want to do is they want to prevent the use of lyrics as evidence in these court proceedings. So now you have this drill rap is what I'm hearing about, where they will say all sorts of things that they're going to do, and then they do these things. And now they want to actually prevent the rap lyrics from being used for, I guess, intent purposes or any kind of purposes. In what is positioned to address a growing issue for music artists, particularly in the hip hop genre, a new bill has been introduced in the US by Congressman Hank Johnson and Jamal Bowman, titled the Restoring Artistic Protection Act. It seeks to protect artists from the use of their lyrics against them as evidence in criminal and civil proceedings. I'm going to say this, ladies. If you live in Georgia and you vote for Hank Johnson, if Hank Johnson, is on your ballot, I would question whether or not I would be pulling the lever for him. Or Jamal Bowman, I would be questioning if I would pull the lever for him in New York. Grammy-nominated artist Young Thug is perhaps the best-known rapper currently testing the constitutionality of such prosecutorial strategies and whether they intrude on First Amendment protections. Thug was arrested in May on charges of gang activity and conspiring to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corruption Organizations Act, or RICO Act, along with fellow Atlanta rapper Gunna. Okay? So we finally have prosecutors doing their job, trying to get criminality off the street. And guess who's pushing for it to be not have all the evidence included? Let's just say that. But we also have to look at the supporting groups as well. The Recording Academy, Recording Industry Association, Universal Music Group, Sony Music Group, Warner Records, Atlantic, Sony, or Sona, sorry, Songwriters of North America. All of these music groups. And they do have rappers that are actually fighting for this as well. Let's see what you girls are saying. Girl, you're spot on. Instead of being worried about money, they're worried about bottom barrel stuff. Look, we need to elevate. Dennis Prager reads the Bible on his channel because he knows conservative Christians support him, like Herschel Walker and Larry Elder. Here's the thing with them, Mokamami. I believe that the stuff that they say is true, right? But what they don't do is they don't fight for the resources that we need, the true marketing and promotion that we need, the true structural change that we need in order to help combat these things. They're just like bad people, Black people bad. So I don't think they will ever be effective, and I don't think they want to be effective. I truly don't. THJ complains a lot about business programs and government programs with only benefiting Black women and not Black men. I disagree. I do too. I really do disagree when it comes to that. Because I happen to have lived in DC for 23 years before we moved. And I'm still very close there. And I would be in rooms with Black men that were doing multi-million-dollar deals with the government, that were getting 8-figure contracts with the government. So I've been in the rooms. Oh, hey, Dark and Lovely. Selfish Love is saying, absolutely not. If you were bold enough to put your crimes in a song, then it should be used against you. Yep. Oh, yeah, everybody, like the video. Please like the video. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that. Yes, the RICO laws, if you want to snitch on yourself, then you are deserving of time. Simply don't do the crime or know the statute of limitations. I don't even think you want to know the statute of limitations. Like, just don't do the crime. Mokamami saying, here in Texas, legal weed is on the Black men's agenda, but it still keeps them underemployed because most of all unskilled jobs drug screen. You are absolutely right. I said it in another group that I belong to. I said that legalizing weed or marijuana, number one, we should be in those industries from a money-making, revenue-generating point of view if people want to do it. But I felt that us as Black people consuming it was going to slow us down. I actually got a lot of pushback from that. I still stand my ground. Unless somebody has a medical reason, I get it if you have epilepsy or if it's an elderly person that has arthritis or things like that. I'm concerned that it's slowing, especially Black men, slowing them down. Selfish Love is saying, exactly, Mokamami. I'm an accountant and never got a drug test, but lower level jobs definitely require drug tests. Yeah, they do. Look, I stay clean no matter what. I don't even go around people that are smoking that stuff. Sha'Carri Richardson found out the hard way about that. Yes, please share the live. Please like it. Please share it. Yes, please, ladies. Lots of Black men are on SSI and get disability. So let's talk about that a little bit. So I worked with, and this is where I will defend the men. That's why I said I don't black male bash completely. I don't black male bash at all, but I will defend the men on this. So I worked with an organization that helped Black men that were recently incarcerated get on Section 8 and get SSI. One of the problems that they have is that if the man or woman, if a person does not have a physical living address, then they can't get these services. They can't get Section 8, they can't get disability and, or sorry, SSI specifically. And what they were doing is they were providing an address to these men so that they would be able to start getting their ability to get Section 8 to get back on their feet. That's something that actually sounds like something to fight for to me. But over time, that has to come with the job training program and the way to move up as well. Yeah, Mokomami is always spot on, So I want to, just kind of talk about some of the things that we as Black women should be fighting for. If we were to create an agenda for us, I'm going to suggest some things, but I want you to put some things in the chat too. And let's kind of have this as a conversation. So I have a few things. Like, what are our asks? Number one thing that I have on here is there are a lot of programs that are out there that already exist, but they don't have the marketing budget for. So, for example, we all know, well, most of us know Black Girls Code. Hopefully all of you do. But there's launchcode.org, for example. Launch Code is a 6-month program that will take a complete beginner and get them into the tech industry. They could take coding camp. They can become quality assurance people, project managers, product managers, things like that. When I spoke with the executive director, who is a Black woman, she said, Cherie, my only problem is I can't get the information out. We have such a small budget, There are other really great programs that are out there that are completely free. Launchcode.org is free. These other programs that are completely free. The first thing that I will ask for is a budget to promote these programs that are for apprentices, job training programs, and trade programs, even for the young boys that are coming up, like appliance boot camp and things like that. I want a massive marketing budget to promote these programs and the ability for us to have any young person that wants to go through these programs to be able to go through them. If we have to pay Lizzo, if we have to pay Cardi B, God help us, whomever the influencers are that can get our young women into these programs, we want to make sure that we have 100% employment for Black women. Because I don't think we need to have a lot of extra programs. I think we just need to market a lot of the programs that are out there. Second thing is there's a program called NACA. NACA stands for Neighborhood Association Corporation of America, I think is what it stands for. But it's a program that offers free down payment for home ownership. Program already exists. What I would do is I would want a marketing budget for that. And I would want to have, again, the biggest influencers that are out there for it to be, since the young people are watching, I guess, the BET Awards or whatever, for them to be the sponsors and them to blast this out so that our young women can buy their first homes. Everybody should have their ability to be a part of the American dream. It's about promoting these programs that are already out there. Number 3, entrepreneurship. For Black women that want to be entrepreneurs, we need more access to capital, right? So there is the Minority Business Development Agency. I would want to make it permanent. We would want more money going into CDFIs. CDFIs are Community Development Financial Institutes or institutions. They actually fund a lot of small businesses in the community. And I'd want a lot of money to promote these programs because a lot of people don't know that these programs exist. These programs help you with business plan writing. They help you to get government contracts. They help you set up your operations, etc. I'd want promotion money and I'd want operational money to prop up these programs and access to capital, $10,000 to $20,000 grants for any woman, any young lady above the age of 18 that completes some sort of an 8-week or a 12-week course and can produce a business plan and a viable operational plan for their business. Another thing that I would want is promotion of something called SBIR grants. SBIR stands for Small Business Innovation Research. The program is already out there. The government funds $275,000 for entrepreneurs that have tech ideas that want to actually bring them into existence. But guess what? Most Black people, especially Black women, don't know that these programs exist. Take the current programs that are out there, but tack on a whole bunch of marketing money, get our influencers, instead of them talking about twerking and things like that, getting them actually propping up and promoting these programs and have these programs do what they do. I'd want Black women to get more government contracts. I'd want us to have increased police protection, removing cash bail, or whatever it is, reinstating cash bail, because we need more police. Black femicide needs to be the same as the Asian hate bill. I don't know how to do that, but just like they have the Asian hate bill, there needs to be some sort of a Black femicide bill. Another thing I don't hear anybody talking about, Candace, any of them, is Black maternal deaths. Some sort of study and rectification with regards to why we as Black women are dying more during maternity. If they care about abortion and they care about us keeping our children, keeping our babies, which I'm pro-choice if you don't want to have the baby, if you can't afford it. But if you are going to have a pro-life stance, then we also should put these Republicans' feet to the fire and say, but we're dying in the delivery rooms. You need to care about that as well. I don't hear any of them talking about that. We need better schools because we need school choice. I absolutely agree with that. Smaller classrooms, a high school apprenticeship program so that for our sons, they can become plumbers or HVAC or whatever it is, reinstate that in the high school. Maybe going to college isn't for them. Maybe in their senior year, they instead of going to finish high school, they go right into the apprenticeship program so they can have some sort of certifications, or adding those tech certifications in the high school programs. And then the last thing that I have is, again, just money to promote trade, apprenticeship, and job training programs. So that's my list. Let's see what your list is. I want to know what you think we should be fighting for. So Lainey is saying, yes, Mokamami, weed and other substances are not hills worth fighting on. I agree. Mokamami is saying drivers and shelf stockers get disability workman's comp claims, so you need to be clean due to risk of injury. Okay. And everybody, yeah, like the live. NACA and Launch Code. Yeah, I'm big fans of both of those programs. I've spoken to the executive director of Launch Code. Great program, completely free. Y'all can go and participate in it now if you want to. It's available to anybody in the country. NACA, I've spoken to 3 or 4 people who actually have gone through the program and gotten into their homes without having to have a down payment. If we're looking at closing the wealth gap, 2/3 of white families' wealth is in their homes. And we need access to real estate without predatory lending. Mokomami is saying we as content creators can help each other use our platforms to share info. Yep, absolutely. Small business innovation research. Yep, SBIR. Not just childbirth, reproductive breast cancers as well. Okay, I love that. Adding that to the list. Hi, Annie X. Yeah, so anything else you ladies, want to put on the agenda, I do think we can, start this as a list. The fellas have a list. We can have a list too, because I'm telling you, I actually looked, I'll show y'all this because I see more people are typing stuff in. I actually typed in Black Women's Agenda, and this is all that I got. This is the Black Women's Policy Center. I'm telling y'all I looked, right? Black Women's Policy Center, these are the policy priorities. 1, raise minimum wage. 2, increase the TANF cash grant in PA. That's just Pennsylvania. And the cash grant is the dependent children, TANF. 3, paid family and medical leave. And 4, extending Medicaid to 12 months postpartum. This is a nice list, but it doesn't help us build wealth. That's my concern with this list. It's not meaty enough. The guys had, I'll admit, the guys had, they had their grievances there. So we as Black women should also need to look to take over an industry. That is going to be my call-in show actually next week, next Tuesday. So pull together money to buy enough of a company stock to get on the board. Yep. Buy these businesses as well that are going on sale. Computer and Coin is saying job training, grants, and scholarships for high-paying careers in healthcare, tech, business, and entrepreneurship. These should be marketed in areas with Title I schools. Perfect. Mokamami, those certification and apprenticeship programs are heavily attended by Latino boys in Texas. Yes, they are. And part of the reason is because, number one, it's cultural. Let's be real. Because they see daddy, doing their thing. And they're like, well, I'm going to follow in the family business. So they're doing it. So part of it is that. And part of it is that I don't think they're promoted in the proper way. I think in order for us to have a real cultural shift, let me take a step back. I was watching the interview with Kadeem Hardison and Jasmine Guy the other day. I loved A Different World. I didn't go to an HBCU because I had always decided, I always knew I was going to college. I grew up in the type of house where like going to college was never an option. But I was listening to DJ Envy saying, I decided to go to Hampton because I saw a different world. We need new media put in front of our young people so that they can see themselves in these jobs, in these positions. And that is going to take a heavy investment in marketing and promotion and, psychology and things like that. High-speed technology, internet in poor rural areas, environmental racism, those are good as well. Yeah, so We Funder Everybody is a crowdfunding platform, but there are other crowdfunding platforms that are out there as well. Annie is saying, I feel like there's need to be an emphasis on financial literacy, like teaching Black women about investing in stocks, the importance of a good credit score, life insurance, etc. You are absolutely right. There needs to be a targeted. So you can definitely come back to this channel because those are the types of things we talk about. But there needs to be targeted classes around these things. So, all right, ladies. Well, look, this is about my time. So it's about an hour. Y'all know I'm never on here long, but we are going to have a discussion on Friday evening, I think. So I'll see you ladies back on Friday. I just really wanted to kind of come and just have this conversation with you because of all the brouhaha, and I had some time today. So, all right, see y'all on the next video. Bye.